Hey everyone, it's Rachel
and Linda.
and we are Truth
Trust
and Transformation. So today it's getting ready to be back to school, and with that we know comes all kinds of germs and illness, and just we wanted to discuss how to be healthy. Like Linda works with kids. I see patients daily that have kids at home, so constantly exposed to a barrage of germs and cooties and stuff like that. So we're just going to kind of talk about what we do to get us through like cold and flu season, things to boost your immune system, and if you get sick, how to shorten the duration of your illness, things that have helped us. Just to say this, we are not giving medical advice. We are just like sharing with you what we do, what works for us. It's always best to consult with your doctor or your healthcare provider to see what works for you. This is just what works for us. So,
well, and literally Rachel's kept me working and alive for years with all of this stuff, and selfishly sometimes I forget and I feel guilty that I'm always texting you, like, how much vitamin C should I take before bed? And now we'll have a video posted.
Yes.
So if I forget, I can just jump on this and listen to it, and get the info.
So my background is I'm a certified medical assistant, and then I have a bunch of certifications in like herbology and supplements, IV therapy, all kinds of stuff. But again, I'm not giving you medical advice. I'm just telling what we do to get through cold and flu season when we're exposed to everything that's going around. The number one thing for people, I think more people need to like advocate for yourself and get your vitamin D levels tested, like your blood vitamin D levels, because even if you're in the sun constantly, that doesn't mean that our body's producing the vitamin D that we need. And unless you go to an integrative doctor or to a homeopath, they will tell you your vitamin D is fine if it's anywhere within that range. And I think the range is like 20 to 50 is normal. But in actuality, you want your vitamin D levels to be between 60 and 90. That's for immune function. So that's the building block.
That helps your brain too, right? I mean, the vitamin D does a lot.
Oh, absolutely. It helps depression. It helps blood pressure. So vitamin D is actually a hormone. We call it a vitamin, but it's actually a form of a hormone. And if you go down that rabbit hole, it's very confusing.
Right. And there's one other thing about the vitamin. I forgot. We'll get it. There's something else about the vitamin D.
Like the receptors?
No.
It'll come to you.
Yeah, it will.
So I've got all of our supplements down here. These are Linda's because I didn't bring mine. So the important thing with vitamin D, you want to make sure that it has vitamin K in it. The K is what helps the vitamin D absorb. Also, vitamin D is a fat soluble vitamin, so it's best to take it with something fatty. So eggs, bacon, coconut oil, something, olive oil, shot of olive oil.
I forgot that.
Yeah.
Thank you for mentioning it.
Fat soluble. And again, I think it's super important for kiddos and for adults to get your levels tested before you go into cold and flu season, so you can get those boosted before you're exposed to the germs.
Yes. Preparation. Loading. That's what I was going to say. You used to have me load. Like if my vitamin D levels were low, you'd be like, okay, take this many for this many days to like boost your levels and then level off too. So
right. So typically just depending. So when I work with my clients, I always ask them to get this checked. If your doctor won't pay for, or if your doctor won't order it, you can literally, there's a lot of different labs where you can DIY, like order your own lab. So one of them is Ulta Labs, like ULTA labs.com. You can go on there and order anything, and typically they always have a 20% off discount code. So I'll go on there and order stuff for patients. You have to pay out of pocket, but it's definitely worth it, and it's not that expensive. It'll save you a lot of time off work. It'll save you time with your kids getting sick if you just know where those vitamin D levels are, so then you know what to take appropriately. Typically, we live in Michigan, and the summertime I usually take a dose a week. I usually do like 25,000 international units once a week. And when your vitamin D levels are healthy, it helps prevent sunburn. It helps your immune function. It helps your body tan and not burn. So there's a lot of benefits to vitamin D that people don't realize. So, and then during the winter, I tend to take 10 to 15,000 a day. Again, it just depends. I check my vitamin D levels around this time. and then see where I'm at, and then I can dose accordingly. My grandkids, I get them cod liver oil because it also has the vitamin D, the K, and the vitamin A, which is also important for immune system. It tastes horrendous though. Like liquid cod liver oil is so gross. But when you give it to your kiddos when they're little, they don't know that it's nasty. They just like, they'll take it. Although I can say my granddaughters start to say, is that weird tasting stuff? And then she doesn't want to take it. So, and then you also have to be careful with cod liver oil because you don't want it rancid. So once you open a bottle, you need to use it. You need to store it in the refrigerator and it needs to be gone. And I would say in 45 days max.
Okay.
And it's expensive. Like Carlson, I really like. And then Rosita, I love, but that is very pricey. So if you have multiple kids, it's really not very cost effective. But it has a good amount of vitamin A. And then of course with vitamin A, you always want to be careful. Vitamin A is not something you want to take daily because it can get toxic levels.
Okay.
So typically just when you start to get sick, you can bump up like vitamin A. But that's one of the ones I don't use often.
I've never used it.
Yeah, and just recently, like with COVID and all of those things, like they recommended taking like a dose of vitamin A to help boost immune function. Another tried and true and cheap supplement.
Oh yeah.
Vitamin C. Like you can really do such high doses of vitamin C. And vitamin C prevents viruses from replicating in your blood. So that's the good thing about vitamin C. So there's many different kinds. I always tell people if you're gonna superdose with vitamin C, you just want to make sure that there's nothing else in it. Like no, these are fine. I'm talking about like what are those packs? Emergency.
Oh.
That have vitamin C in it. One,
They
there's
have
only
sugar in there too. Like
terrible.
it sneaks in there, but those things are, yeah. I gave mine away.
So that's what you want to be careful of too. Do not buy gummy supplements because you're getting sugar, and the amount of sugar, say if you take everything in a gummy form, by the time you're done, you're getting like 30 to 40 grams of sugar.
Well, sugar feeds virus.
Exactly. So it kind of defeats the purpose. Like just get some capsules or get some liquid for the kiddos. There's tons of supplements. Like Mary Ruths is really good for kids. There's no sugar added. You always just want to look up like non-sugar supplements for kids because again, yeah, sugar feeds viruses, and then it kind of defeats the purpose if you're trying to superload with vitamin C, but then you're also superloading with sugar.
Right.
So vitamin C, you take it until bowel tolerance, and you'll know when you get enough because you will be in the bathroom. Everybody's different. I can take a ton of vitamin C. I know if I'm starting to feel ill or if I've been around somebody that's been sick, I will take like 50,000 milligrams before bed, and it works best when you sleep. You want to take it throughout the day, but you want to take a big dose before bed. And then typically when I wake up, I feel better. Like I feel like whatever I'm having, and I tend to not get diarrhea at that point. Like my body can tolerate that, I think, because I've been taking it.
Well, and it wants it too.
Mm-hmm.
I can remember many times I'm teaching in my living room, and either someone comes in and they're compromised, or I'm just a little like, I'm starting to feel something, and I just excuse myself. I go straight into the kitchen and I take a handful of vitamin C and this stuff called monolaurin that you're going to talk about in a minute. And I just down that, and it usually nips it in the bud before it can take root. It's what it's like for me. And so
Solaray is a decent brand if you got to go to a local health food store. I like Pure Encapsulations brands, and I'll try to figure out how to link stuff below so you can see. Pure Encapsulations is super cheap. It's really affordable. Not that expensive. So, but this is also like if you need to go to a Whole Foods, or like we have Better Health here.
Solgar is good too.
Yeah. Right? Sprouts. Fresh Time, we have Fresh Time, but it's the same as Sprouts. So any type of place like that, like whatever their brand is, just try to find it pure vitamin C. And then you want to make sure it doesn't have a ton of fillers. Obviously, it's really hard to find supplements with no fillers, but you want minimal. You don't want them to have 10 fillers in it, because then like how much in the capsule is actually vitamin C and how much is fillers. So that's the second one. And then preventatively for vitamin C, I'll take like 5,000 milligrams a day.
Yeah, I bumped way back this summer. But in the winter times, oof. Yeah, I'm taking several thousand with each meal just because I don't want to mess with it.
Exactly. Nobody has time to be sick. The monolaurin that she was talking about, so this is Lauracida, and this is actually made in Michigan. But there's also ecological formulas monolaurin, which is capsules.
I have that bottle there.
Those are the only two brands I tend to like. The one they sell in the store, I'm trying to think of the brand. It's not the greatest. I don't feel the same benefit as if I'm taking the Monolaurin by Ecological Labs or this one. So this actually protects against your enveloviruses. So like RSV, chickenpox, shingles. It helps with Epstein-Barr. The only thing it really doesn't protect against is your common cold, like your rhinovirus. But everything else, flu, fabulous for. COVID, like life-changing. Because it just goes down and breaks down those enveloviruses, which is super helpful. So preventatively, these are like teeny tiny pellets. They look like little waxy. They almost look like the little wax melts that you put in gas.
Yeah, they do.
So these are easy
but to swallow them.
Yeah, you don't want to chew these.
No.
Because they taste like spicy soap. And if a kid accidentally bites into this and it lingers because it's waxy, they'll never want to take it again. But it's easy just to throw in some, I like make chia pudding. So I'll throw it in there for the kids to get them to swallow it. Or I just tell them, put it in your mouth, drink some water, and then it goes down.
Yeah.
Super effective.
Yeah, and show them the ecological ones too. And the other thing about this, I also heard about.
You didn't give it to me.
I didn't.
No, that's okay.
Oh shoot.
There's like I said, I'll link the stuff below. I just had to figure out how to do it.
I had mono when I was in 8th grade, and so I have that Epstein-Barr in me, and I'm one of those people. If I get worn down, it'll kick in, and I kick it back down with the Monolaurin and the vitamin C. And the same thing with the last several times I've gotten sick. It was mostly because I was run down because I had a performance and I just had too much pushing going on. And I feel like whatever COVID is left in my system also does that. And that's another place to just, boost your system to kick whatever it is out.
And these things always work better if you're already taking them preventatively, and then you just increase when you start to feel, you feel a little bit of a scratchy throat, or you feel a little bit of fatigue, or
just feel off.
Yeah, if you start like dosing accordingly, when you already have it in your system, it works so much better.
Well, that and which hopefully will be a recurring theme is for you to continue to get to know your body better so that you know what it needs, because your body is going to use these things in a specific way, and as you get to know how they feel and how they work, it's like a lot of it's trial and error like anything else, but I think that everybody is capable of figuring out how these things work for you.
Yeah. So another thing that's good if you're getting like lung stuff, so Linda has asthma. NAC, this is like so powerful. There's even pulmonologists that will put their patients that have COPD on this. There's a lot of research behind this that helps the inflammation in your lungs.
Right.
So taking a daily dose helps, like if you already have asthma, if you're predispositioned, especially bronchitis, and then your asthma flares, and then you're miserable and can't breathe. But this is like super powerful. Take 1,200 milligrams twice a day is typically the dose when you're feeling ill. Take it for like 7 days, and it usually can you feel like the inflammation in your lungs go away.
It's also really good for detoxification too.
Yeah, NAC is just one of those really good supplements that's all around, and typically not too expensive. Usually at first, if you get your little arsenal of supplements around before like cold and flu, then you might have a big hit up front with a cost, but typically then if you just have to like replenish them as you use them, because some you're going to use more than others, like vitamin C you're going to use a lot of typically, but it's affordable. Yeah, luckily it's very affordable. Another thing that we tend to do is nebulizing food grade hydrogen peroxide mixed with normal saline. This is 3%, and you can do this like in a nebulizer.
Whoa, hold on a second. Mixed with normal saline?
You can.
Do you have to? Because
no.
All right. Because I use that stuff straight, and it was.
It's strong though, right?
It's strong.
It can irritate your nose a little bit.
Yeah, I didn't like it because you mix the stuff she makes sometimes you mixed it with saline.
With normal saline, and then I add magnesium chloride to it because that's like a lung opener.
Oh.
But you just get a nebulizer, and then you mix some, like, you can do the full strength 3%, but for kiddos, like my granddaughter won't do that. Like, it's too, she says it hurts her nose. So then we just mix it. So I'll do, like, say 1 cc of this to 3 cc's of water, and sometimes I'll even mix it down more.
And saline water, not tap water.
Yeah, it needs to be normal saline. So you can buy all this stuff on Amazon. They're the little tubes.
Or your, what do you, like, drugstore?
For normal saline, if you go to your drugstore, you have to get like eye wash.
Oh, okay.
But it needs to be salt water. The molecular weight needs to be light enough for it to aerate.
Okay.
So.
Oh.
Yeah.
See, I'm gonna be watching this video.
Water won't work, and plus you don't want to be like the particles that if it did mist, you don't want to be inhaling the particles from your water, even if it's filtered. You just you need that salt water.
Gotcha.
That makes it lighter. So sometimes with my granddaughter, she's 3, I'll even do like a half of a ml, and then I'll do 5 mLs of water. It just depends. Like sometimes she says it hurts her nose, and I always breathe it in first.
Do you use a mask?
For her, yeah.
Okay. My mask got messed up, and so what I do, this is crazy, but I use, you know, there's like a tube that with a handle or whatever, a mouthpiece. So I use that, but I inhale the peroxide into my lungs and I exhale it out my nose. And then sometimes, because I'm thorough, you know, you're gonna learn this about me, I do the whole like suck it through this nostril and like try to get it up in my sinuses, because my experience with the peroxide is that it's also anti-inflammatory, and I find that even, you know, like whatever inflammation I'm carrying in my shoulders and my body will like go down a little bit from using the peroxide. So that's helpful. And the other thing about asthma, although these are expensive, the biomats, when I sit on a biomat, you know, and my back is on it, it's getting the back of my lungs, and my asthma goes down from that. So that's far infrared heat. Also lowers inflammation, and that's what asthma is inflammation.
Right. You could also get Lugols iodine. I always do 5%. I go on the, I think it's J Crow website. I don't know. Like I said, I'll link it below. And you can put a drop of iodine in with the peroxide. So it's like antiviral, antifungal, antibacterial. So it covers all the bases, and it's phenomenal, especially for kids with coughs. When I worked in the pediatric office, we would have kids do this with RSV, and because it's virus, so there's really no treatment that the standard medical office says. Like, there's nothing you can do. It just has to run its course. And for babies, it's really, they can end up in the hospital because it really just messes up their lungs. They can end up in the NICU. But you can do this. It's safe to use on babies, and a lot of times we would just have them nebulize normal saline just to get that fluid in their lungs and to help open up their airways. But I've been doing this since my youngest daughter is 19, and almost since she was 5 is when I got into this world. We've been using it. She's 19. She's never been on an antibiotic. She's,
magic child.
Yeah, absolutely.
Lucky her.
She's conditioned. She knows when she starts to feel sick, so, okay, I need to take my vitamin D, I need to take my vitamin C, I need to take monolaurin. Like during COVID, I think she had COVID for like a day.
Yeah. And
she's only had it once. And so like her immune system is so good that like when she gets something, she instinctively knows, okay, this is what I need to do, and she just automatically does it. But these kinds of things are lifesavers because
they are. And the thing about them too is that you learn about and integrate them over time. Like even in this video, she's saying stuff that I'm like, oh, I didn't know that, you know. And you just over time you start having a different toolbox of how to take care of yourself and your family.
Right, and you see what you respond to and what they respond to and what works really well. And again, it's not taking the place of medical like advice, but if you can kind of nip things in the bud before you need to go to the doctors, like it's super helpful. Because sometimes, most of the time with kids, like you end up going to the pediatrician and they're like, oh, it's viral. And so you can add like the monolaurin, which treats viral illnesses. You can do the hydrogen peroxide. You can do the iodine.
Do the things that boost the immune system.
Exactly.
And of course, liquids.
No sugar.
Staying hydrated. Yeah, and I forgot to bring it up here, but maybe we can take a picture of it and put it in the notes. A nutritionist I went to has a whole list of foods that feed virus and foods that don't.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, of course, sugar and chocolate and wheat and, the stuff that's already sort of problematic is on that list.
Mm-hmm.
But, and of course, when you're not feeling well, that's what you want.
Exactly.
You always want
comfort
what's,
food.
so it's just trying to figure out how to have a chat with yourself about what's really the best thing I can do for myself right now, and resting,
getting outside and doing some activity.
Sunlight
is amazing. Yeah, even when it's cold and it's like wintry out, because we're in Michigan, so it gets pretty chilly out here, but just going outside in that cool air and getting the sun, like it can really help. The worst thing to do is like climb into bed and pull the covers up over your head and just like eat chicken soup. Like that's the worst thing you can do. Or drink a glass of orange juice. All the things we did when I was young. Oh, I'm sick, I'm gonna go get some orange juice.
I don't think chicken soup is bad,
Well, the carbies.
Bone broth.
Well, the bone broth,
you're talking about the wheat noodles.
Yeah.
Right.
But like actual just bone broth and like chicken and like how we make it. Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot because I always make my own. And I was told by someone when I was in college that root vegetables are really good for you when you're not feeling well. There's something about that grounding earthiness. So, carrots, parsnips, put that stuff in your homemade
some
chicken
ginger.
Soup. Ginger.
I make homemade like
garlic is good too.
Fire cider, if you make your own, is phenomenal. It's disgusting, but it just really like helps your immune system. So it's all this fermented like garlic and honey, and there's all kinds of like roots that you chop up and you let it ferment, and like ginger root and turmeric root, and you just let it ferment, and it's like it's nasty. But it's powerful. I have a patient that makes it for me every year, and it's like it's good. It'll knock some stuff out.
Yeah.
It's also good for like parasites and doing like a parasite cleanse because it has all the bitters and stuff in it.
Right.
Yeah, so that's really good. Another thing is like people make elderberry syrup. You can't load the elderberry syrup with sugar. Like that defeats the benefit of doing like elderberry. Like honey, like local honey, great, but like don't load it up with sugar. When people do that, and then you can't heat the honey. You have to make the elderberries and then you put in the honey once it's cooled, because otherwise you're killing all the beneficial properties in the honey. Yeah. And then kids are more likely. I can make sugar-free gummies. Like I'll get like if I'm feeling like I don't know, motivated, then I'll make like trays of it and I'll do like little gummy bears. The thing with that is like, how do you dose it? I mean, I know people can figure that out, but
that's
my
rough.
brain doesn't.
Right.
Yeah. But you can't do too much elderberry, like especially if you're making your own. It's not like you can overdose on it. I'll make little packets of it and then like give it out to like my grandkids, and they love it. Like my youngest granddaughter, the 3-year-old, she like, Grandma, can I have my supplements today? So whenever she comes over, I have her like supplements. And she just like, it's something she likes to take, so it's good that we've ingrained that in her young.
That's interesting. It's fascinating watching your kids and grandkids grow up around all of this, and I share it with my students too. Like my singers get sick or whatever, and I do energy medicine on them, or I show them the Monolaurin bottle. I'm like, you need to get this stuff. Oh, the other thing that Monolaurin is really good for is canker sores, man. You just start getting a little whatever and take 3-4 of those, boom, gone the next day. And that's fun. It's like fun to see something work.
And you can feel it, and that's the same with like if you're prone to fever blisters or cold sores or that kind of thing. Hand, foot, mouth, it treats hand, foot, and mouth, which has been an issue that we've had along with, I think with COVID. It's just suppressing a part of people's immune systems. Adults have been getting hand, foot, and mouth, which is crazy.
I don't even know what that is.
You get like sores in your mouth, the tips of your fingers, and then your toes, and it hurts really bad.
No, thank you.
Yeah. So it helps with that too.
Wow.
So there's a lot of things. You can actually go on the Laura Steeden website and just like read all the research papers that they've done to see the things that it treats. So it's nice because when people like, oh, you have a viral illness, there's nothing you can do, you can run its course. No, there's tons of stuff. There's herbs, homeopathy. What is that? The acicilli, blah, 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 blah.
Oh, yeah, that one. Oh,
that's fabulous.
The other thing Did you have that Lymphanest bottle?
Oh yeah.
I used to get this Lymphanest Marco Pharma, and this helps your lymph system flush. So it's like you kill the stuff, you boost your immune system, but there's also flushing.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't, I'm not going to read all the stuff that's in it, but it's herbal. But anything to help your system flush, and there's also taking salt baths is helpful, and dry brushing.
Yeah,
Just
I
that.
think so, but I feel like people when you're sick, that's the last thing you want to do.
Yeah, true.
A few things we also do if we're really sick, but it's just because we have access, like IVs. So like a Meyer cocktail with a big dose of vitamin C. It has your B complex, your B12, magnesium. We do ultraviolet blood irradiation, which is
UVI.
Yeah, so we draw blood and it goes through UVA, UVC, UVB lights and ozone. But it's just because I have access to that because that's the field that I work in. Like everybody, that's not accessible to. Even though I know here we have a few like IV places that have popped up where you can go get an IV done. But thankfully,
they're expensive. Right,
because I work in the field, like it's not like for us. It's just the cost of the supplies, which is nice. So. You don't have to do that, but definitely if you're able to and you're starting to feel run down, like a Meyer cocktail will knock it out, will knock it out and boost immune function. So that's what I do preventatively. I'll do an IM shot of ozone on myself like a couple times a week.
What does IM mean?
Intramuscular injection. And then I'll do a Meyer cocktail once a week. And so I pretty much stay like I stay where I don't get sick at all during cold and flu season. Like I can't tell you the last time I've actually like had a cold or been sick. It's rare, but I can say when I do, I feel like it knocks me on my butt. Like definitely. I think the last time I've been sick is with COVID.
The only time that I've really gotten sick is if I travel, which I hardly do, and if I have a performance, man, every time. And I don't think I necessarily catch anything. I just think it's that my immune system has too much of a load, and one of those titers does its thing. The other thing that I do for my immune system is I do Body Talk Access, which I will post a brain balancing. We haven't done that yet. The brain balancing. I am not certified to teach any of the other things, but there's a hydration balance and a immune system balance that honestly, since I started practicing that, I think I've been doing it 10 years and I just do it every day. I've hardly gotten sick anymore and my allergies have gone bye-bye. I will find out about what I have to do to get certified so that I can teach that, because it was life-changing for me. And when I miss it, like I can feel it. So I just do it every day.
I can say too, like, I think another reason why my immune system is so good is diet. Like when I'm like intermittent fasting, and I also do like a 3-day fast. I try to do that once a month. But intermittent fasting and then I eat meat-based. I tend to eat more fruits and veggies during the summertime when it's available. And then during the winter, I tend to be like 90%, I would say 90% like meat-based. But I'm not like one of the crazy like in the carnivore community where, oh my God, you can't have spices or vegetables or whatever. And every person is different. Some people like feel like achy and don't feel their best when they're eating veggies because the oxalates. But that's probably just a sign your gallbladder and liver isn't functioning appropriately. But I think that's another reason why I don't get sick as much, because I eat a really healthy diet and I fast and I'm very proactive. I work out 4 to 5 days a week. I weight train. I get in cardio. I have a walking desk at work, so I get in like 10 to 15,000 steps a day. So I'm very mindful, drinking tons of water. I don't really drink anything other, like I'll have a Zevia here and there, sparkling water, but I tend not to drink anything else as far as like sweets or anything. Not to say I don't have my moments where I want sweets or I eat like something. But
it's a general rule.
I don't feel optimal when I eat. Like sugar, even though I limit my sugar. I notice like in my joints, I notice where I feel more inflamed. So that's part of too. I always tell people you can't supplement your way out of a crappy diet. Like your diet is your nutrition, your diet is your medicine. Like food is medicine, and you can't bombard your body.
Or it's a poison. You know, and for some people, like for me, you know, nightshades don't go well for me, and those are just vegetables. But and the bathtub analogy of, you know, like if you've got, say it's allergies, this is where I got the bathtub analogy. It's like you've got this allergen and that allergen, and eventually, you know, your bathtub overflows and you have an asthma attack. It's inflammation is like that for me. Like I can clean out my body and I can take a little hit, but if I hit my body, which I did over the weekend, you know, I celebrated someone's birthday and I went out to a restaurant, which I hardly ever do, and then I had leftovers, and all of a sudden I'm like, oh, I don't feel so good. You know, and it's because my bathtub overflowed and I have to back up the bus. And everybody's different. And the other thing is, like, what I don't want to have from these videos is anyone getting overwhelmed with like, oh my God, I can't do all that stuff. Pick one thing. Pick one thing, get used to that. Then try another thing and get used to that. Because also, if you're doing a lot of things at once when you haven't sort of tested them, you don't know what's doing what. Until I can sort of do that now after decades of health stuff.
Right, but it's an integrative. Like you kind of integrate and you see some habits stick and then some kind of fall off. So it just depends. Yeah, but you don't want to start a million things at once. But I think when you slowly get into the routine of doing these things and making sure, especially when you have kids, like making sure the kids, like when you start young and you're like, okay, like these are your supplements, these are what you need to take, or if you're not feeling well, like this is what you do. They know it and they learn pretty quickly. I can say when my youngest daughter was probably 9 or 10, she would come and say, hey, I need this, or like she would know like what she could take and she would like take it herself. And so I'm always the person, like I don't do cold medicines, because I mean you see all these videos come out where pharmacists are talking about they don't really work, they're just on the market, like they don't really work, and it's just like,
the only thing I use cold medicine for is if my sinuses are getting really like swollen and messed up, I will use a cold medicine for the decongestant, because if I don't and this gets really crazy, then I get a bacterial infection.
Yeah.
But that's just me.
Do you use neti pot at all?
Okay, neti pot. I have a very deviated septum.
Okay.
It is like naughty, way hanging to the right, and the neti pot's just, I can't get the liquid to go through, and so it just irritates it, which sucks for me, because those things are amazing, but I have not been able to use them without it just being an irritant, because it kind of gets stuck up in there.
Oh, so the water gets stuck in your sinuses.
And it irritates it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the other thing, the thing about children, and this is so great because I'm a teacher, I don't have kids, but you have kids. The other thing that I'm teaching 5-year-olds how to breathe properly, you know, and establishing those habits with kids when they're young. It's exciting to me for them to grow up without all the bad habits and then having to overcome them, because that's time consuming.
Right.
And old habits always want to, you know, reinsert themselves. That's what they do.
Yeah.
Naughty.
Another good thing to use for prevention is it's called Providine. They sell it at like CVS, Walgreens. It's like a saline with like iodine solution.
Oh.
And when you've been out in public, if you just like before you go, like squirt it up in your nose and then you kind of snuff it back so it goes in your throat.
Yeah.
And then when you come home, if you get in the habit of doing that before and after, then viruses and bacteria and colds like start in your nasal passages, because it's dark, it's warm, they love to go there. Another thing you can use is Clear. It's XLEAR or something like that. And that's great too, because it has xylitol, and xylitol also has that function. Okay. So getting in the habit of doing that can really like decrease your chances of getting anything like 90%.
That's
like
really
if you get
helpful
in the
with travel. Like if you're on a long plane
Oh,
ride,
absolutely.
you could just go in the bathroom and
snuff it in there. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then do it when you get off or when you're in a public place, because if you can prevent it from like growing in your passages, that helps a lot. It's hard with like kids because kids typically hate like getting. My granddaughter really, she'll always ask me, does that go in my nose or my mouth? And if I say nose, like not happening. So, but it's phenomenal. Like it really like just so it takes place of the neti pot, so you don't have to worry about rinsing because you're just like squirting it up there, and then you're sniffing it, and then it's going down in your throat, so it's like clearing out everything. They came out with that. I mean, the clear has always been around, but like the frontline doctors, when they came out with all the COVID protocols, there was a doctor on there that said, like, if you take this and betadine and you mix it and you snort it up your nose, like it prevents like 95%, and it really does. So that's something before kids go to school, after kids go to school, and then I mean, obviously washing hands, not touching your face. I'm always in the habit at work, I'm always wiping down door handles. Because that's what happens. Like someone touches their nose and they touch the door handle, then you touch your face, and then so I always try not to like touch my face. Like no rubbing. And
they said that with the masks in the pandemic, that was part of it. Is that just the fact that you weren't touching your face was helping? I don't know if that's true or not, but
yeah. But then with a mask, it was also like preventing you from breathing in air, and like you're breathing in. And how many people use the same dirty mask for a really long time? And it's like, I think you like messed up the filtration system. Plus, like viruses are smaller than that. So yeah, I'm glad all that is over.
Is there anything else you can think of?
No, I mean staying hydrated and warm teas, honey. There's always lots of good cough syrup recipes like online that you can do, like cayenne and honey and lemon, and like mix it together, and doing that warm, that can really help if you got like a tickly throat or a cough, because that like dilates everything. But the big thing is prevention. Just be mindful, stay ahead of it. Try to get vitamin D levels checked before like we're going into cold and flu season, because we're getting ready to go back to school here. I feel like it's so early because usually kids didn't go back until after Labor Day, but now it's before. So you want to get these things started before they go into school, because then everybody's around all these germs, and you just don't want to. I mean, you don't want to be sick. Nobody wants to be sick.
No one wants to be sick.
Yeah. So if you have any comments, questions, leave them in the descriptions. Please comment, like, and subscribe. And again, I will try to link stuff. I don't know how
we're learning. No, she's learning.
It's a learning process, so I will try to link everything that we talked about. Actually, I'm going to show you everything so you can actually see it, because we're kind of far away. So this is the hydrogen peroxide in Amazon. And then this is the Lauracidin, if you see that. So you just go to lauracidin.com and you can order that. And they typically run specials. This is not that expensive. And then this is the NAC. We use a lot of Designs for Health just because I get it wholesale, so it's more affordable. It is one of the more expensive nutraceutical brands, but their stuff is really good. And then this is the vitamin C, but again, I like Pure Formulas vitamin C. And then this is the vitamin D, and if you look, like you can see like how much K you need it. So each one of these is 5,000 international units.
Here's the Lymphinest.
And then this is, so she has liquid iodine forte. I like the Lugols iodine to nebulize, just because that's what I was taught. And then this is the lymph stuff. And then you just take this like a teaspoon or whatever it says on the...
you put like, when you're really sick, 30 drops in water, and of course it doesn't taste good.
Yeah, and it says it on the vial. So once again, thanks for joining. Like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.